So for today's vlog, we will team up Ipega 9116 or 9096 on PUBG New State. Let's go!
Get ready.
Press F1. After pressing F1, you'll see this. Let's click new. Drag this. This is the WASD button. It looks like a joystick. This is left click. So let's do simple drag and a drop. Should be here. This is right click. The default for this is the scope. So let's leave this first here. And this is the mouse. So always put the mouse at the right side of the screen. And always remember not to overlap the buttons. Overlap is like this. It's on top of another button. So don't do that. It should have a distance. So let's save this first. Save. Save the preset scheme to the device. Okay. So by the way, if you want to use cursor, just press the middle mouse click and the cursor will appear. And let's pick the gun here. Let's say M249. Let's pick both M249. So if you make this disappear, just click again the middle mouse click. And let's do look around. So for look around, this is the look around. So for look around, press F1 again. Alt, left alt is the default for look around. So put it on here. Let's see. For look around, just hold the Alt key and you can look around. And you can also automatic run on Ipega 916. Just hold down the W button for let's say 2 seconds and it will automatically run. And for entering and exiting the vehicle, you can use only one button. For me, I use letter T. Just click F1 so that this interface will show. Then click the keyboard key that you want to use from EST. Let's make it a smart button. So this smart button, it has only two, so it will press in increment. It will press T1 first, then T2. So drag the T1 here and drag the T2 here. So save the preset scheme to the device. Okay, so if I press on T, it will drive, and if I press on T again, it will exit the vehicle. And if ever there's the driver's seat is already taken, you'll be automatically be the passenger. So but make sure that you choose these default layout instead of this. I suggest that you use this for the vehicles. Make sure that you do this. The drive is on top of the vehicle exit button. It should be like this, so that when we press T, it will automatically get in and or get out. As I have said earlier, that you can click the middle mouse click to make the cursor appear, but you cannot set the sensitivity for this. And there's only another way to make the cursor appear. So let's say let's press F1 and then let's say you can choose any keyboard key that you want. For me it's G. Double click here and you can choose pop-up window and click OK. So let's save this first and then OK. So if you press and hold the letter G, cursor will appear. But you cannot also set the sensitivity for this one. it's what it is. The speed is what it is. So if you want to make this disappear, um, release the keyboard key. So it's that. So the first method is clicking the middle mouse key, and if you want to make this cursor disappear, just click again the middle mouse click. And the second method is press and hold the G key, and if you want to make this disappear, just release the G key. And for the other buttons, you can use any key that you want, like the reload, jump, crouch. And for reload, press F1 again, then press the keyboard key that you want. For reload, it's R. Wherever you put this, we set this earlier as the cursor. Wherever you put this, it will still show in the middle. So I'll show you that. So save. So I'm pressing the G key. It will only show in the middle of the screen. So for crouch button, it's C, crouch. So for jump, it's space. For lean left, let's say it's V, and lean right. So let's save this. So when you jump, lean left, lean right. So for debug and map, press F1 again to make this interface appear. Then press the keyboard key that you want to use for bag. For me, it's Q. So there you have it. So let's save this first. When you press Q, bug will appear. You can use the middle mouse click to make the cursor appear, or you can use the second method, which is press and hold. So you can click whatever you want, drag and drop. And if you want to make this disappear, just release the keyboard key, which is the G, and press again the Q key. There you go. And before anything else, if you press Q, just make sure that this mouse cursor, this mouse button should be placed on here, outside of the bag interface, so it will prevent conflict. So for map, what you're gonna do is open the V3 interface again by pressing F1, then press any keyboard key that you want. For me, my map is letter Z, and you can press this one, choose the smart button for this, and OK. So there's the 1 and 2 again, the Z1 and Z2. So Z1 will be pressed first, then Z2 will be pressed second. So my Z1 should be placed on here. So let's save this first. Save. Then click the map to show this map interface. Then press again the F1. Then drag the Z2 on the X here. So save and close. Okay. So what it does, if you press the key, just press the key, and you can use the cursor to click wherever you like, or you can drag this to make the view larger. So if you want to exit this map interface, just press again the Z key, and then press again the middle mouse click. And you can also use this second method for the cursor. It's much easier. So there's a new feature in PUBG. It's the roll. You can press double click the crouch, so it will roll. So for the scope, so I'll teach you the scope, the quick change of scope. Open this one, press F1, So for me, let's say number 1, click, choose smart button. Okay, so there's 2 buttons again, the 1 and 1 2. So the 1 please place it on here, then 1 2 please place it on here, so don't overlap buttons. So let's make another button again for 2, smart button again. Okay, so the 2 1 will be placed here, 2 2 will be placed on here. So do that also to these 6 times and vice versa. It's up to you what button or what keyboard key that you use. So let's save this first. So let me show you what it will do. So if I press, double click the 1 key, see, when I double click the number 2 key, see, double press it slowly, see. So for the 6 times scope, if you want to change this to 6 times scope or 3 times scope, let me show you. So this one is the icon for change of the range of scope. So open the F1 again. So let's say F. So drag it on here. It is where the range of scope is positioned. Save this. Let's turn this first to bind the right view. Okay, then save. So the F is positioned here on the icon of the change of range of scope. So when I press on the scope button for 6 times scope and we press and hold the letter F, this icon turns yellow, and then if we drag the mouse up, it will change to 6 times scope, and if we drag the mouse down, it will change to 3 times scope. So up, mouse down, mouse up, mouse down. It's when I pressing and holding the F key. So if you're sure of what range of scope you will use, then release the F key. See? So you can do that also in messages. So let's say in messages, so let's drag it here on messages. It's also the bind the right view. Okay, save. Okay, right. So if you press and hold the letter F and then drag the mouse to message that you want to use.
Nope.
See?
Alright.
See?
Attack my mark.
Yes.
Check my mark.
So you can also use this single press the F.
Check my mark.
And you can double press the F.
Enemy location confirmed.
And when you press and hold,
attack my mark.
see? And you can also do that on the emoticon. So see, I want to clap, I want to say hi. So if I want to nod, see, for throwables it's the same as the consumables. So let's open F1. So my throwables is number 5. I get here. Don't forget to prevent overlapping of the buttons. Click this and bind the right view. Okay, save. Always save. Save the preset scheme to the device. Always choose that. Then okay. Then you should press and hold the number 5 and use the cursor of the mouse to choose. So there you go. And then press the far button or the left mouse. So there you go. That's for the throwable. By the way, if you want to see the layout of your buttons that you key map, just press F2 and you'll see the small icons, and just press 2 again to make it disappear. So that's it. So for no recoil and gun lowering, just press the F3 button. You can see here the no recoil settings. It's simplified in the new update. So by default, this is the settings. You can save 4 different settings of no recoils here. If you have one-handed keyboard, you can only use F4 and F5, but if you have a full keyboard, you can use up to F7. So for the no recoil, I'll teach you the basic, then the advanced. So but before I teach you the no recoil, I'll explain to you the camera settings and the fire settings. In training mode, you can find it here, and you can find it in the settings also, the sensitivity. So for the no recoil, you can press F3 in your keyboard key. My gun here is M249. So this is a fire when you fire without scope. See, and this is with scope. So for sensitivity, since we have the 3x scope, go to 3x scope. See this one. So the scope mode and the fire. So I'll explain this scope mode and fire. So the scope mode is when you do this. This is the scope mode sensitivity. If we increase the scope mode 3 times, if we max this out, this is what happened. The scope is too much sensitivity, so you have to lower it down. So the fire, this is when you shoot your enemy while moving. So this is the sensitivity. This is the sensitivity when you fire and move the camera, the scope. That's the fire sensitivity. So of course, if you lower it down to 0, you cannot move the scope when firing. So I can't move that. The movement is very minimal, so we have to set it to at least 100 or 99. Really up to you. So for no recoil, I suggest you set no recoil for your favorite scope. As for me, I use 3x scope. So I already set this to 9. You can change this to 10, save, and don't forget to press F4 to apply changes. So there it is. It has almost no recoil. I'm okay with that. So, but the downside, there's a downside for this. If you set the no recoil to 10, as you can see here, I set it to 10. The hip fire will have a much gun lowering. See, but I have a technique for that. Just open this, and this is the TTP shoulder camera. You can lower this down up to 20, but if you lower it down, the sensitivity for when you aim will be much lower. So like this one. So just a heads up. So we lower this down to 20, the TPP shoulder camera. That's the sensitivity. See? You can achieve no recoil if you move the camera to your aim. See? Or you can lower it down. It's up to you. See? But if you lower it down, the sensitivity for TPP is much lower. let me show you. See, it's much lower, but it's up to you if you want to lower it down. But as for me, I want this to have a control on the aim. Let's set it to 30 so that I can achieve no recoil. I can achieve no recoil in hip fire when using my mouse to aim at the enemy. So remember, different guns and scope have different recoil sensitivity. So I've set the no recoil for 3 times scope and it's fine. If I set it to red dot, this is what will happen. There's too much gun lowering. I have a technique for that to make it almost no recoil. So open this and go to this red dot Viper. So if we max this out, it will have highest gun lowering. See? And if we lower this, we can achieve the no recoil. See? Yeah. See? See? You got almost no recoil. So that's what will you do. That's the technique. You can find that only in this tutorial. So if I change that to 2 times scope, it's almost the same with 3 times scope. And by the way, if you want to remove the no recoil, you can press the escape and yeah, you see the pop-up message, cancel the gun lowering. So if you want to use again your saved no recoil setting, you can press F4, F5, F6 or F7 if you have. So let's press F4. I got the no recoil. If I press escape, cancel the gun lowering, and there we'll have, and there's the recoil. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you find this tutorial helpful, and if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe for more gaming tutorials and DIY tutorials. So until next vlog, stay safe.
Ready?